Thanks for taking the time to come here. I'm Preethi Ramani, Senior Director of Product for our Lodging Partner Services Group.
And I'm Bill Long, Senior Director of Product of our content platform. Those are some pretty long titles, so you might be asking, what exactly do we do? Well, we manage the teams that build the experiences that you interact with every single day in Partner Central, from the tools to upload your photos to property analytics. We have dedicated, smart individuals who are always coming up with new ideas, but we aren't revenue managers, nor are we general managers. So as we're building capabilities for Partner Central, we always want to ensure that we aren't losing sight of the tools that you need to do your job every single day. And that's why the challenge for us is, how do we ensure that we don't miss something that's important to you?
And the truth is, we are relying on you to help us with that challenge by telling us what's most important to you. And then we make sure we're listening really, really well. But listening well can be challenging. Even though the vast majority of human knowledge is acquired through listening, the reality is that we as humans only truly comprehend about 25% of what we hear. And that's why it's important for us to listen at multiple forums, including events like this, so we can keep track of larger events, trends, as well as individual questions. And we take your feedback seriously. At last year's partner conference, we got this question on Slido from Jeff at the Hollywood Hotel, who will hopefully be in one of the later sessions today. He asked, will you be adding templates for answering guest questions? It was a good question and a popular one. In fact, easier, more scalable ways to contact guests was one of the most requested improvements in our annual Lodging Partner Survey. So, what did we do? Well, we listened, and we've built a tool that now not only allows you to create messages based off templates, it allows you to set up a schedule so those messages are automatically sent at key traveler milestones, like immediately after booking or right before checkout. It's only been a month since this functionality launched, but in that short time, our lodging partners, many of you, have already sent over 80,000 scheduled messages. And hopefully that's translated into hundreds of hours of time saved compared to having to manually type in and send those messages one by one.
And we're always listening to your feedback through multiple channels and looking for new channels to make it easier for you to provide feedback and for us to listen. Every single week, we get hundreds, if not thousands of messages from the link in Partner Central from you. And every single day, teams are reading each and every one of those messages, tagging them, and then partnering with our data science teams to identify and track trends over time. At the beginning of this year, we took a look at that data and the trends that emerged. And what we discovered was that the most important question asked by our partners was this one: how can Expedia Group help me better connect to travelers? Well, fortunately, since we're a two-sided marketplace, we're also listening to travelers through multiple channels and at different phases of their traveler journey, from when they start to dream about a destination to when they return from a trip. And so with that breadth and wealth of information, we're able to identify opportunities for you to better connect with travelers and to better utilize our tools. One of those opportunities is the overlap of your needs as a partner and the traveler's needs. And while we're always focused on improving the tools you use every single day in order to improve your operational efficiency, this year we put particular emphasis on that overlap and identifying ways to simplify the ways in which you can stand out in the Expedia Group marketplace. And to do that, we conducted extensive research around the world into the traveler's journey to understand the phases they go through, from dreaming to booking to traveling to returning on a trip. And within each of those phases, we understood the key decisions that travelers make, as well as the pain points and the delighters that they experience, followed by the needs. And based on all that analysis and all that research, what we did was we pulled out 4 key touch points in the traveler journey. The first touch point is when a customer starts to search for a property and they look at prices and inventory. The second key touch point is when people start to narrow their property choices and they go to individual listings and start to read the content and the photos to help determine whether or not this is a property that's right for them in their trip. The third key touch point, that's when a customer books, and they start that personal relationship with you, sending and receiving communications. And the fourth key touch point is after they've returned from a trip, and they start to think about their next destination and their next property, and this cycle starts over and over again. And each of these key touch points, we identified opportunities for you to better connect with travelers. And so over the past year, we developed capabilities and improvements in each of these 4 key areas. And these improvements come in the form of these 4 key levers for you as a partner so that you can better stand out and differentiate with travelers in our marketplace. And so what we're going to do is we're going to deep dive into each one of these key areas so you can better understand the capabilities and improvements we made and utilize them moving forward.
We'll start with rates and availability first, because if you don't have rooms available on our site for travelers' booking dates, they're obviously not going to find you. And if you have rooms but the rates aren't competitive, they may never even make it to your listing. Now for our connected partners, like most of you in this room, we know that you use channel managers or in-house connectivity systems to send us your rates and availability. But we also know that you do need to go into Partner Central to check and make sure that everything is set up and mapped correctly. And we heard loud and clear that the tools we had for you to do this were missing some key functionality. So we've gone back and redesigned our main rates and availability view. And we're in the process of rolling out an updated version that will make it much easier for you to view all your rooms, rate plans, and availability in Partner Central, whether you make changes from there itself or whether you're using a channel manager or other system. In this new view, you can customize it to show exactly the data points that are relevant and most important to you. You can expand, collapse room types, rate plans. All the changes you make will be remembered and persisted each time you come back. We've also made it easy to edit values inline and to apply bulk updates over a range of dates and confirm that all the changes are applied correctly. Now, besides just updating our tools, we also realize that Partner Central is only one small element in the overall ecosystem of tools and products that you need to use to manage your properties every day. So we're always looking for ways to make it easier for you to navigate through that ecosystem. And again, for our connected partners who are using channel managers to push through rates and availability to our sites, we have heard that you're always looking for the fastest, easiest, most robust option. So we've created a connectivity provider guide to simplify your search. Launching in the US and Canada early next year, this directory will allow you to compare channel manager options, understand the features and functionality that each provider supports, and look at performance across providers. And we think we're in a pretty unique position to do this really, really well, because we work with hundreds of providers who connect hundreds of thousands of properties. So we are processing billions of information exchanges every day. So that gives us some really robust insights into the best performing systems in the market. And we're using that same data, that same scale, to constantly improve our revenue management product, Rev+. The sheer volume of data points that can feed into our prediction algorithms is just incredible. Everything from flight demand data to changes that properties in your competitor set are making, to real-time traveler behavior across all our brand sites. Our data scientists are constantly looking at how they can optimize our prediction models to take into account more and more data, so we can surface better recommendations to you. We've now added the ability for you to compare and view rates for specific room types. We can forecast occupancy more granularly at the sub-market level in addition to the market level. And we've added alerting so you can stay informed about the most important changes. With all these improvements, keeping your rates and availability up to date and optimized should be much simpler, so there are no barriers to your standing out in traveler searches.
And as you increase your visibility in property search results through rates and availability, you attract more customers to your property listing. And those travelers are looking for the amenities that are going to meet their needs, as well as the photos that inspire them to book. So the question becomes, how do you know that you have the content needed to meet those traveler needs? Well, the content score is your tool to understand whether or not you're meeting those traveler expectations. And over the past year, we've looked at traveler reviews, traveler site behavior, survey results, as well as conducted studies like this one, where we track the emotions of travelers as they're booking and searching and shopping for their real trip. And what we do is we start to identify moments of joy, like you see here when someone's looking at this particular photo, as well as moments where people experience frustration. And through analyzing all of that research and data, we did two things. One, we discovered that photos were much more important to travelers across all of their travel decisions in the traveler journey. And so we re-rated the content score to put much more emphasis on photos. We also updated our algorithms to give you better insights into where you're meeting and beating expectations of travelers, as well as your improvement opportunities. With this insight into photos, we've also made two other enhancements. First, we've begun to add over 30+ new photo categories to Partner Central so that you can better align your particular amenities with what travelers are looking for. And secondly, we've taken the data and we've turned those into actionable photo recommendations that are tailored to your particular property type so that once again, you know the content that people are looking for when they're searching for your particular property. We're also putting technology to work for you. Using data science, we're getting much smarter about putting the right content in front of the right travelers at the right time. For example, earlier this year, we talked to people who were searching for pools, and when they came to the search results site, they were frustrated because the hotels that they viewed didn't show pool photos. And that's what they were looking for. And so what we've done is we've invested in auto tagging as well as scene classification algorithms. So now, when travelers filter on things like pool, they actually see pool photos if your property has a pool. And what we've seen in testing is that both engagement and conversion increase. We're also always thinking about how to use machine learning in order for us to better understand how to display photos and content to travelers. And so in the past year, we've tested both smart cropping as well as the science of identifying the beauty of photos so that we can better display photos in the photo gallery, which is one of the first things that travelers look at when they come to your property listing. And so with the science of the beauty of photos, that allows us to experiment with the order of photos and ordering them by aesthetics. And with smart cropping, it allows us to optimize your photos across many different screen sizes, from desktop to tablet to mobile. As you can see here, even in a mobile phone, we're maintaining that center point for the photo and a well-balanced horizon line. This third image is actually a sneak peek of something we're working on right now, personalized amenities. An example of personalized amenities is the ability to highlight family-friendly amenities like babysitting services or a kids area based on when we actually know that someone's searching for a trip with a family. And what we're going to be doing over the next year is adding many, many more amenities to Partner Central so that you can better stand out and differentiate with travelers based on their search behavior.
Well, if you're personalizing for me, Bill, those pool photos are always the deal closer.
I know.
That's what gets me to click book every time. But once I've done that, then as a traveler, I'm looking for fast and helpful information so I can plan the perfect trip. And as a lodging partner, we know that you want to be proactive about how you engage and communicate with guests. So we talked about how the new message templates and scheduled messages can help you with that. But how do you know when a guest responds and sends you a message or submits a review or some other key event happens when you're constantly juggling multiple priorities and you're always on the go? That's where the new notifications feed in the Partner Central mobile app comes in. We'll alert you about new bookings, cancellations, and real-time feedback as they happen. And because we know that many of you using our app manage multiple properties, we've aggregated all your notifications together into a multi-property view with the ability to filter down into a specific property if you want. And because we know you can't be looking at that phone all the time, if you miss a notification from us, you can always go back and check your notifications feed at any time it'll show you all your new notifications. Now, in addition to the notifications feed, we have also simplified the app sign-in process and made some other enhancements that to overall improve the app experience. So hopefully all of you here have already downloaded the Partner Central mobile app and are using it actively. If not, please do that today. By the looks of our ratings in the App Store, these changes are making your life simpler. So thanks for sharing the positive feedback. We've made some good headway in the past year, but we also recognize we have a long ways to go. So we'll keep listening to your requests and feedback so we can keep making this mobile app experience better and better. For example, we know that many of you want a calendar view in the mobile app, so you can see your rates, availability, and bookings day by day for the whole month. Expect to see that in 2019. We've also heard that you want to be able to easily share and delegate tasks to others at your property. So that's something else that we're looking at how we can integrate into the mobile app.
Now, as guests check out, they start to think about their next trip, and you start to think about how to get your next guest. And the cycle starts over again. So the question becomes, how do you stand out in your marketplace and go beyond the basics? Well, partners often turn first to property analytics to try to get the data to answer that question. But data is only as valuable as the insights it provides. And what we've heard from you is that you want more actionable recommendations based on what we know about your property. So what we've done is we've extracted insights and formed recommendations that allow you to better understand how to take action on the data we have about your property. And so what we've done is we've organized these recommendations by goals so you can easily deep dive in the goal that's most of interest to you, like visibility, and we simplified those recommendations so the most important ones are always visible on the screen. So far, we've seen a spike of 58% in click-throughs on those particular recommendations, so we know we're headed in the right direction.
And those are just some of the many changes we've made and we'll continue to make based on your feedback. We decided to go back to Jeff, who had that question from last year's partner conference, and get his take on all these changes. Now, Jeff's been with Expedia Group since the very beginning. This is his 19th partner conference with us. And I think he captures what we're trying to do perfectly. Over the years, we're always looking for new ways to listen to you, to understand what's important to you, and to improve the tools that you use to manage your business. And this year, we've added a new way to listen to you and to improve your experience getting help from us. Our new live agent chat functionality was designed to expand our service hours and to spare you the hassle of having to wait on hold for help. Next up, we'll be looking at how we can leverage chatbots and artificial intelligence to detect when you're stuck or having difficulties and proactively reach out. So stay tuned, and we're excited too about what we'll hear from you next as we continue on this journey together of making our products better every day.